This German train was 20 minutes late. But what happened?
We've all been told German trains are always on time. We've all been told a lot of things about Germany.
It's full of bureaucracy and red tape. Germans are unfriendly, and I swear to God, I just heard that Germans don't know how to party.
So they're saying the people who invented this and this don't know how to party?
Okay, so some of it's ridiculous and some true. But let's talk about the German stereotypes that were once true and just now aren't.
Hallo. Darf man eigentlich hier meine Karte zahlen? Nein. When I first moved to Germany, one thing someone always told me was that cash is king, as you just saw. As the years have kind of gone by and since COVID, I'm noticing I pay with card a lot more often than I used to. It's not a terrible thing. For decades and years and years and years, Germans were known for using cash for everything, for big payments, small payments. The reasons are the history, not trusting, who's holding your money, what bank is holding it, and what they're gonna do with it. And so cash is always what you have on hand and you can spend it. A good example of German dependency on cash is you look at the neighbors in the Netherlands. Statistically, they use around 20% cash payments. In Germany, it's 50%. A great example of this, I was at a fancy restaurant, big 100-something-euro bill, and I asked if I could pay with card, and they of course said, no sir, you cannot. So I have to get up, leave, find an ATM, which, in the winter, not fun, bring the cash back and pay for it. Not the best thing to do when you're on a date.
And if you don't believe Germans' dependence on cash, over 60% of Americans have a credit card, when less than 10% of Germans have one. Which is all well and good, but it means that you're constantly running around town looking for ATMs because nobody takes card. Or at least, that's how it used to be. But everything changed when the pandemic came, because suddenly, because of health reasons, nobody wanted to touch anything. So even Germans who love their cash started to switch to card only. And this actually shifted the whole German culture. You can even use an American Express at a Lidl and a Netto, which you live in Germany, is pretty freaking crazy. In the years since the pandemic, we've been at stores that actually have card-only signs, which is something you would have never seen 5 years ago. But since the pandemic, card use has gone down over 10%, which is unheard of in Germany because, like they always say, cash is king. But now, I think we can say cash is no longer king. When I first moved to Germany, one of the first things I was told was the punctuality of German trains, the Deutsche Bahn. They're always on time, you could set your watch to them. But what's crazy is last year, the Deutsche Bahn had its worst punctuality record in 10 years. Only 52% of German trains were on time. On time only means within 6 minutes of the actual scheduled time.
You might be asking yourself, why is it so delayed? What's going on? Well, over the past few decades, Germany has not invested that much money into the Deutsche Bahn and its infrastructure, including signaling, tracks, and the trains themselves. Luckily, now they are upgrading and investing. But what does that mean for us? It means more delays because things need to get worse before they eventually get better.
We go from Berlin to visit my wife's family in West Germany. Every time the train is delayed or it actually gets canceled on the way and we have to find alternative transport like a bus or whatever.
I have multiple times waited for over 3 hours for one train, not going that far. To be fair, Deutsche Bahn is pretty good at making sure you do get to where you need to be at a certain point, but I think they'd save a lot of money and time if their trains just arrived when they should arrive. A great thing that Deutsche Bahn did do to really try was a €9 ticket offer during the COVID times, which was €9 a month to take any regional train to get all around of Germany, including S-Bahns, U-Bahns, all public transport in any city around the country. Great deal, great price. Problem was every train was super overcrowded because everyone was using it, and they did not use more carriages on the train to compensate for the overcrowdedness. So appreciate the Deutsche Bahn for trying to do something cool, but maybe if they thought about it a little bit more, it could have been a really cool thing. And with all of that, 1/3 of long-distance trains are still delayed, and Deutsche Bahn last year had to pay over €200 million for delayed and canceled trains. Deutsche Bahn's trying, but they can definitely do better.
There's one thing that's undeniable, and that's Germans love beer.
Wouldn't surprise you that as of 2024, German beer sales have been at a historical low.
And also, we just experienced the lowest German beer consumption in 30 years.
Crazy. Even last year, during the European Football Championship, with hundreds of thousands of tourists here visiting Germany, beer consumption was still at an all-time low. And part of the reason is the rise of alcohol-free beer. And they say that this year, 1 in 10 beers sold will be alcohol-free.
And Germany, with its 1,300 breweries, is gonna start hurting with this low beer consumption, especially the small breweries, the small craft breweries. They're gonna start struggling to stay open in the next few years.
And let's also not forget that Germany is a huge wine country. Not people think about that, they think about France or Italy, but Germany produces a lot of wine with a lot of wine regions and also some cool festivals like the Weinmeile, which I go to every year in right near Naumburg in East Germany.
Absolutely, and Germany is really famous for Riesling.
They are. And also Germany is still in the top 10 of beer consumers in the whole world, with their position slowly slipping down every single year.
But even with that, I think it's safe to say Germany's beer obsession.
Yeah, it's not the stereotype that it once was.
No.
And of course, no country or culture is a monolith.
And that's why we wanted to disprove some stereotypes, because you know what? People are complicated and girls just want to have fun.
That's it. So everyone, thanks for watching. Please stay safe, stay healthy, and of course,
Stay thirsty.
that's it. And subscribe. We've always told a lot of things about Germany. We've all been told a lot of things about Germany.